Hello, how's everybody? I'm fixing a super easy dinner, so I thought I'd come on and cook with you. Why not? So, I have chicken thighs that I'm going to cook on the grill. It's like 4 minutes, flip them, 4 minutes, done. But if you leave it for 5 minutes, chicken thighs are very forgiving. They don't dry out the way the breast meat can. So super easy. So I've got them here on a tray so I can bring them out to the grill. They are seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. And season these generously, okay? They can take the seasoning, and when I'm putting something on the grill, I tend to put more because obviously some of it's going to fall off. And you want to get that grill preheated, and I always start with the smooth side down. This is the not smooth side. See, the smooth side is going to look like no, this is the smooth side. The not smooth side is going to be a little bit bumpier like that. And they'll cook beautifully. It doesn't take long. Obviously, I'm cooking more than I need, so I'll have some to put on a salad tomorrow. That's how I roll. But chicken thighs, super reasonable. These are boneless, skinless, so they cook up beautifully. Other cuts of chicken, it needs the skin to be moist. These don't. So super easy. But I'm going to get going on the side dish first. Let me move this out of the way. Hope everybody's been having a good day. So I'm going to make Brussels sprouts. I've already cut these up. I've cut them up in really thin slices. Can you see how these are? And if you're in a pinch, you can buy these already cut this way. They're called shaved Brussels sprouts. I know you can find them at Trader Joe's. Whole Foods sells them. Somebody go ahead and post down below if you know that they're available somewhere else. But if you're in a bind and you need something that's kind of pre-prepped, those are awesome because then you can just, cook them up. But I had the time and I didn't mind cutting them. I just took the ends off and cut them into thin slices, which is going to work really well for this method. I have a package of Butcher Box bacon. Love it. No sugar, no nitrates. I love Butcher Box. And, I could probably be a vegetarian for a week as long as I could cook all my vegetables in bacon. That's just the way it goes. Bacon makes the world go round. So I just need 2 slices for this recipe. So the rest I'll use for something else. Now, I need little tiny pieces. And, you can do it with a knife, but what happens is it kind of sticks together. I use my poultry shears and cut it up that way. This works so well, and it doesn't take any time at all. I've doubled these over, so I'm actually cutting through several layers at one time, and it gets the job done, okay? I like easy, and these, you want in, I don't know, what do you call that, a 1/4-inch strips? This isn't fussy. You can do them whatever size you want, but you kind of want it where, every couple of bites you're going to get a piece of bacon. But the main thing we're looking for here is the flavor from the bacon fat that we're going to cook up. Okay? So I'm going to get that in a cold pan and get it started. Now, I'm not going to cook this really hot because I want to render the fat out of this bacon. That's what we're going to cook the Brussels in. And if I just turn it up screaming hot, it's going to kind of toast it, crisp, and I don't want to burn the bacon. We want it slow and low here. So I've got it on a medium heat just to get it started. But then I'm going to turn it down a little bit lower and cook it very slowly. So the other thing I've cut up here is some red onion, and that's going to go in, next after the bacon kind of gets going. And the last thing I need to do is get a clove of garlic kind of ready to go. You can hear the bacon starting. I want to cut off this hard end piece here. Off to the compost you go. And then just lay it on the cutting board and give the whole thing a whack. That's the easiest way. Then you remove the skin in one piece. Done. And we just want to kind of cut this up so that it will distribute through nicely. There you have it. Garlic. Oh, come on, we got garlic, we got onions, we got bacon. That's what makes the world go round, flavor. I like working with tongs. It helps me separate it and handle it well. And these are silicone on the ends, so they won't ruin your pan. So win-win. Let me move the phone over so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Should be able to see the pan now. So you see that's starting to cook, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit so we don't cook too fast. But see, I didn't need to add any oil to the pan. We're getting fat coming from this bacon, and it should be just the right amount. And it won't be greasy either. It's just right. There we go. Starting to cook. So let's get the onions into the party. We kind of want those onions to cook slowly and caramelize slightly. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. And I could have been seasoning my chicken while this is going because it doesn't need 100% of your attention. And especially if you're really busy in the kitchen and you're trying to make this dish, you can just turn this down lower and take your time and cook it really slow. Okay? Very easy. So I could be seasoning my chicken, I could be setting the table, I could be doing any number of things. I wanted to have a sweet potato with this meal, but all I have is this little tiny one, so it's definitely a small side, but that's okay. It looks like a good one. The bacon smells fabulous. I love that smell. And that'll wake up anybody in the morning, won't it? All right. See that coming along? So once you have enough kind of fat coming out of the bacon, you can add the garlic next. And make sure you have this on low heat. We're not looking to burn that garlic. That would not be a pleasant flavor. Okay, oh man, garlic and bacon cooking. And let's get the Brussels in there. I can turn it up a little bit more now, just to get it going. So start with a good sized pan, so you don't have any trouble moving this about without overflowing. That's the worst thing. Just use the big pan. You end up transferring to another pan when you start to a little one, and then you just clean up more stuff. You make less mess in the kitchen when you have a pan big enough to work with. Okay, that's my take on that. All right, so what I'm doing is just stirring this around a little bit just to kind of coat all of the Brussels sprouts with a little bit of the bacon fat, and more fat is going to be cooking out of these as we go. Now we can season with some salt, and let's see, a little bit of thyme would be nice. And we already have garlic, otherwise I would be putting that in there, but a little bit of pepper is good. There we go. Now obviously this isn't done yet, but I don't like to kill my vegetables. So I'm going to leave these cooked on the lighter side. These smaller leaves can get a little bit crispy, which is delicious. But I like a little texture to my vegetables, and that's just my preference. But if you like your vegetables a little more cooked, feel free to leave this going a little bit longer. All right, so we're going well. Leave it alone. Don't mess with it. I'm going to poke a few holes in this sweet potato. It's probably going to take 2 minutes in the microwave. This thing is so tiny. So a couple things I have here on the counter is a little bit of chicken broth that I had already opened from something else. And if this pan gets a little bit dry, I'll add a little bit of broth. But if you don't have any open, I wouldn't open a container just to do this. You can add just a squirt of water, and that would be fine. I have chicken broth, beef, or vegetable broth would be fine too if you have it on hand. But just in case I need it, or if you need to step away and just add a little moisture to make sure everything stays happy, you can do that. Okay. And the chicken broth or vegetable broth will add a little bit of flavor as well. So the other thing I have is some balsamic vinegar, and I'm just going to give it a swirl when I serve this. The vinegar is awesome with this. Be gentle on that. You just need a little bit, but it's just going to add another little bit of depth of flavor. You'll like it. You know, when I was a kid, there were a couple of vegetables that I didn't like, and one was Brussels sprouts. The way my mom cooked them, she boiled them and served them with salt, pepper, and butter, and I didn't like them. I'll be honest. I did not like them at all. But I've learned to cook them this way or oven roasted, and it's a totally different vegetable. So if you think you don't like Brussels sprouts and you've only had them boiled, try this. Just try it. They really taste good. I mean, what doesn't taste good with a little bacon? What doesn't taste really good with a little bacon? That's my thing. Okay. So these are about halfway done. Looking good. I'll go ahead and add the broth just to let that simmer. They only had a little bit in this container, but it's all I needed. But if I needed more liquid, I can always add water, like I said. Don't overdo that. You don't want it too moist. Okay. All right. That's looking good. You know, they're done when the larger pieces seem about right. You know, you can always taste one. These need a little bit more time. Takes a little bit longer than, say, broccoli would take. And about the same amount of time as green beans. So, not so bad. Looks good. Smells good. So, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to turn this off and go grill my chicken. And then I'll turn it back on when I come back with my chicken and let the meat rest and just go ahead and finish it. That's how I'm going to do it. If I had somebody else here to watch it, I would just grill the chicken while this is cooking, but I definitely don't want to ruin it because it smells so good. So we'll get a cover on it and just let it stay happy there in the pan. Okay. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to cook the chicken on the grill. I'll show you the finished result.